1999, that's when you got your last GM norm, I think. You
Yes.
made the title. What changed in your life when you became a grandmaster?
I became a grandmaster. For a lot of people, it's trivial. It's a path along the way. There obviously there were no black players with the grandmaster title in the U.S. and so it was a big deal. It was a big deal. I was feted by the media. I had my 15 minutes of fame. Luckily, I had a little bit more to come, but at that point, a lot of people were interested in me making history, and I got invited to do a lot of things, and my rate went up. That was nice, right? Now you're a GM.
Because you were still coaching at that point,
Yes,
right?
I was. Actually, I'd taken time off, and that's a huge part of my life. In 1997, Tiger Woods wins the Masters, and that upset me because it's like he was getting all this love as being a black man in like an alt sport for African Americans. And I said, I got to get this title. At the time, I had a child. By then, I was married, had a child, and had to pay bills. I was 31 years old, like dreaming about becoming a grandmaster at that time. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But I was still harboring the dream. I was making money off chess. I had a CD-ROM. I was
CD-ROM.
Yeah, I know, right? CD-ROM. What's that?
The kids don't know what
Grandpa,
that is.
what's that? CD-ROM. But anyway, I had Maurice Ashley teaches chess. It had that like sporty feel, and I was making money coaching. But fortunately, I was working with a new nonprofit, and a gentleman named Dan Rose, philanthropist, was in charge of it. It was Harlem, teaching kids in Harlem. And I told the executive director, her name is Courtney Welsh, that I really just want to become a grandmaster. And she said, ask Dan. And I said, just like that? She said, yeah, you're coaching his kids. He's a nice guy. I asked him, and he said, I like that. You know what? I'm going to give you the money so you can just study chess, pay your bills, and when you're done, I just need you to come back and coach the kids for 3 years. Like, that would be your obligation. I don't want you just leaving.
Pro bono or still?
No. Still come back and work.
Just come back and work.
Just come back and work, yeah. And I had the opportunity for the next 2 years. It took me 19 months and I had already one GM norm. That same GM norm from 93, so now it's 97. And from the September of 1997, I stopped coaching and I just started studying chess. And that's all I did every day. I'd take my daughter to school, I'd come home, and I'd study chess all day. Go pick her up from after school, and the next day, same deal. I had the life of a chess player.
And then you have to go play also.
And then I would go to these tournaments. I went to tournaments in Germany and Budapest and just went and played as much, Bermuda, and played as much as I could at chasing norm tournaments. And it took me, I got my second norm in Bad Wiessee, Germany. Great tournament. Almost beat Rustam Kazimjanov.
Oh, you played Rustam.
Yeah, I played Rustam. I was 6-0 in the tournament. I was killing people. I was first place by myself, ahead of Rustam, ahead of Halifman, Gavrikov. Yeah.
They both became world champions also.
Exactly. And I played them both, and I drew Rustam, and I should have won. I missed a damn win. And then I got killed by Halifman in the second to last round. And I had to make a draw in the last round against Gavrikov, and he tortured me in a rook and pawn ending. But I finally made the draw and got my second norm. And then I came close in other events. Drew Romanishin, and started playing. Started playing some really old school cats, and then finally got the title in New York in the Manhattan Chess Club. Like, I had to go all around the world to get the title back home.
And you got it against actually a Romanian grandmaster, Negulescu.
He was an IM.
He was an IM at that point.
Yes,
Yeah.
Adrian Negulescu. He did not know in that game, it was round 8 of the tournament, he did not know that game was going to give me the title.
Oh, really?
No, he had no idea. He just thought we were playing chess. But I knew that if I got that game, it would be my third norm. And it was a huge game, huge day for me. That day, I reflected when I was in New York, so I was home in Brooklyn, and I was ironing to get ready to go to the game. And I was nervous. It was just like shaking about it, because I tried for so long And here I could win this game and get the title. Even though I had 2 games to go, make 2 draws was like, this could be the game.
Yeah.
I had white, going into the round. And I'm trying to iron, and my grandmother's voice. My grandmother raised us as children. My mother came to this country when we were very, very young. I was a 2-year-old. And my grandmother raised us for the next 10 years. And something she said had irked me, because she kept this line, jack of all trades, master of none. Jack of all trades, master of none. And it was something that stuck with me, because I felt like I had not become a great player. And my grandmother was like cursing me from the grave, right? You're never going to get good. You're never going to get good. And that kept being something that blocked me as a player, the words of this lady. And while I was ironing, the words came back again. And only then, as an adult with a child, if you will, and I don't know what it was in the moment, I suddenly realized that my grandmother wasn't cursing me, that she was saying it out of love. Like, if you want to be good at something, don't do everything else. Focus on what you're going to do. And that interpretation or reinterpretation in that moment made me realize that I was mad at my grandmother, that it was something I shouldn't have been harboring all that time. And I dropped the iron and I started crying. And it was like a release. And then I picked it back up, finished iron, got dressed, went to the game. And in the middle of the game, at some point, I was just like, it's going to be okay. No matter what happens here, I'm going to make the title. And I just played smooth. I won a pawn at one point. He sacked the pawn in the opening. He had compensation. I gave it back. And I just had this initiative torturing him. And then he blundered in this moment. And I got to play a move, bishop e7, which all it was just attacking his queen and his rook. And before I played it, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, wait a minute. I'm going to win this game and get my GM title off a stupid move like bishop e7. Like, literally, I'm sitting there going, it's like a Potter's move. You wouldn't even show that in a tactic book like it was special. You just play bishop e7, the queen's on f6, the rook's on d8, you get the rook. Really? It's just this funny moment, and okay. So I played it. He, in the meantime, was trying to hold his breath because he was in time pressure when he played rook d8. And he's like sitting there like, uh-oh, I'm going to lose now. I play the move. He resigns. I had the biggest smile on my face. He says, why are you so happy? I said, I just got the GM title. It's like, what? So, okay, buddy boy. Fact in history. Who did Maurice Ashley beat to get the title? So forever that. It was a huge day. I was so happy. My buddy Josh Waitskin was there. So we were totally thrilled at that point. I remember going home. I'm not somebody who likes snow, but I remember taking the subway back home. And it was snowing. And I was walking through the snow, and it was the only time I've ever thought of snow. Like, it was a winter wonderland. Like, oh my God, it's snowing. It's beautiful. What a day. It was March 14th, 1999. And that was it. I lost the next game.
You probably partied hard that night.
Man, yeah. I was calling everybody up. Everybody was happy. It was not, I did not care about the next day. And it was another real round to play. I lost to the eventual winner of the tournament. But
is that your happiest chess memory, you think?
I think so. Yeah, I would say yes.
I mean, with everything involved, that was super deep. I have goosebumps, hearing the story about your grandma, and yeah, that's a big moment for everybody. I remember, actually, I was playing in Romania when I made my final GM norm, and in the last round, the dad of the player that I was playing against, I'm not going to mention any names, he offered me to make a draw. And I was like, no, hell no, we're not going to make a draw before the game. I felt like that was cheating, right, basically. So I went on and I kicked his ass and made the norm. But yeah, I guess the last norm, everybody has a very special story about.
Absolutely.
I don't.
You don't? Yeah, because you're a big boy. You're like, I'm number 2 in the world and all that.
My last game was so unremarkable. It was, I needed to draw in the last game. I'm playing black against this pretty strong grandmaster, Kosic. And I get in a position which I'm completely unfamiliar with. It's like he plays a King's Indian attack. And I'm there very nervous. I'm like, I don't know what to play. I'm worried he's going to start attacking me. Like, we already have the structure where he's played e5. And I'm like, okay, now I got to push my queenside pawns and he'll attack and we'll have a mess. And he just offers a draw. at that moment, like move 12. I'm like, okay, I'll take it. And that was it.
Yeah. No, that doesn't sound very
No.
emotional or touching, goosebumps.
Yeah.
You got to fix that story somehow.
I'll get a new one.
Yeah, that was really special for me. Like I said, my mother was a single mom, so she at the time had left when we were that young. When I was that young, I was 2, my brother was 10, my sister was a 7-month-old, and she had gone to the United States, had come here to make a better life for us because she wasn't allowed to bring us with her.
Mm-hmm.
So she left us. My grandmother said, "Go, just do it. I'll take care of them." My grandmother was 64 years old. So imagine a 64-year-old taking care of 3 kids after she already had 7 kids of her own that she had raised. And she raised us until she was 74 years old. And I was now 12. We went to go finally live with my mother consistently. And I always remember the sacrifice of those 2 women. My father came back into our lives. He was always really there, but he had to sort of clean himself up and then be a present father for some years. And that was huge as well. So the sacrifice those people made, they didn't know what was going to happen. Anything could have happened. So when the storyline becomes that we made the best of their sacrifices, and now I can look at my mother who was like, "How are you going to make money off chess? How are you going to do that?" And I was like, "He made money off chess. My son, the grandmaster. Look at this." She takes the clippings out of the paper and all that. So to know that we delivered on their dream is really special.